Ron calling in from Iowa. Ron, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. That's what we do on Free Talk Live.
Great. I was just curious, how that when we, the United States, that is, we retrained the quote-unquote new Iraqi army, and then here recently, ISIS has come in and basically the new Iraqi army dropped the weapons that we gave them, up to 4 divisions worth of weaponry, M1A1 Abrams tanks, and ran.
Yep.
Now, ISIS has control of all of that weaponry, and now our glorious hero army president wants us to go in and train Syrian deadbeat rebels and give them weapons, and these Syrian rebels would have no problem turning these weapons against Israelis or probably against our own troops in the future, and use our tax dollars to do this.
Yeah, let's not forget that the Obama wanted to go to war against Assad a year ago.
Yeah, of course, this is the same situation that happened with Osama bin Laden. Those were, U.S. weapons that he's been using. Right,
the Mujahideen.
The
U.S. armed them. The CIA armed them. Yeah, this just keeps on happening over and over again, Ron. Yeah.
And another thing is that we're already in, we're upset at the Russians for what they're doing over there in Ukraine, and the Russians have a naval port along the coast of Syria. They've always been buddies with Assad.
Right.
And here we're wanting but to go into and do strategic bombing and arming rebels to attack Assad. You think the Russians will sit by and yawn? And
yeah,
whatever.
They don't care anything about their strategic naval base in Syria. Nah.
It's crazy.
It's World War III.
I feel sorry for our troops. I feel sorry for the brave men and women who that a couple weeks back when we heard our president say he has no strategic plan, and just to imagine what they felt like thinking, our leader has no plan. He's our commander-in-chief.
Well, they're developing a plan. It'll just stink. Here's what I wonder is that, I mean, it seems like obviously they recruit young people to be in the military, but I wonder whether it's because anybody else would be able to sort of look historically and say, well, for a paycheck that turns out to be less than a minimum wage, I'm going to continue to be put in harm's way for the same stupid foreign policy mistakes that have been made over the course of decades. This is just the same thing that keeps on going on over and over again, and one's got to kind of wonder why people keep signing up.
Yeah, it really...
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you can join the military, but you can't drink. You're not old enough to drink.
Oh,
that doesn't make any sense at all. And I think the reason that this is so is because they know they have to, especially today with the madness of the U.S. foreign policy. They have to get kids while they're really, really young, because, if they waited much longer, they'd have their reason behind them, and they could say, no, you're not selling.
Right.
This is a bad bill of goods.
Ron?
That's right. You're exactly right. My son, he is in the U.S. Army Reserves. He's been there 8 years. And he was telling me the other day, he said, Dad, I regret re-upping for another 6 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry to hear
so
that.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
been in for
that.
8 and he went re-up. How's that work? I mean, was he in for 2 and then it doesn't? I thought it was always 4 and 4.
He signed up for 6 when he started.
Okay.
And then he signed up for another 6.
Gotcha. So he's in for
ago.
He's got himself 4 more years to go.
Yes, sir. And I feel I'm sad about that. But at the time when he asked me, he said, Dad, what do you think about me joining the Army? I said, you know what? Since you asked me about that, you valued my opinion at the time. I said, I think it would be a good thing, and so go ahead. You basically have my blessing on this. And now it's like I regret saying that.
Yeah,
I love our country. I love the men and women in uniform. But you know what? I fear our government that they would have no problem of letting our finest and best be butchered in some bloodbath just to let ISIS keep on growing.
That's what they employ them for, is bullet catchers, no doubt about it. Ron, I all the best to you. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, I do just want to say quickly that to Ron and his son, actually, that I know
you were in the Army too.
Yes, I'm a veteran. I got out early. You can get out early. You can get out early, you know, without demerits too. I mean, you can. It is possible if your conscience catches up with you so bad. Believe me, you can get out. It is going to be tough. They will pink vest you. They will do all kinds of things. But please do share with your son that if he really feels I can't execute my orders, he can get out. Okay?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.